Asajj Ventress is one of the most popular characters in Star Wars The Clone Wars, but the series never actually showed her ultimate fate. There are two different versions of her story, with each offering her a different kind of redemption, one in which she ultimately lives and one in which she dies. Leave a comment telling me if you prefer Ventress living or dying after the Clone Wars. In the Legends version of her story, she was born on the planet Ratatak, where her parents ruled as warlords. When she was very young, they were killed by Osika Kursky, a rival warlord seeking power. When the exiled Jedi Kai Narek arrived on Ratatak, he recognized Ventress's potential in the Force and took her on as an apprentice. Together they stopped many of the wars and the infighting on the planet, until he too was killed by Kursky. In her anger, Ventress fell to the dark side, and she was eventually found by Count Dooku, who encouraged her anger and trained her to use the dark side of the Force. She blamed the Jedi for Narek's death, as they had abandoned him, so she relished in the idea of avenging him. Throughout the Clone Wars, Asajj Ventress operated as a separatist commander in many different battles, often fighting against Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. She even imprisoned and tortured Kenobi for several months, where he learned about her tragic upbringing and past as a Jedi. Late in the war, Ventress was seemingly killed by Anakin on Coruscant. However, Obi-Wan continued to search for her, believing her to still be alive. He was also convinced that there was good in Ventress, and he was determined to help her find a way to the light. After believing he had tracked her down, he recruited Anakin to confront her. This turned out to be a trap placed by the bounty hunter Dirge, however, who fought the two Jedi until Anakin managed to kill him by forcing him into a star. By looking through the memory banks of Dirge's droid, they concluded that the Separatist military and Ventress were on the planet Boz Pity. Obi-Wan and Anakin met up with other Jedi generals and an army of clone troopers to invade the planet. When they arrived, several Jedi began fighting General Grievous while Obi-Wan made his way into the Separatist base. He found Ventress in a bacta tank. She broke out of the tank and attacked Obi-Wan as he tried to talk her into abandoning her hatred. Anakin joined the fight, and as the rest of the Separatists escaped the planet, Dooku ordered his droids to shoot Ventress, wanting to punish her for her constant failures. Obi-Wan tried to tend to her after she was shot down, and she almost managed to kill him, but she was stopped by Anakin. As she was seemingly dying, she warned the Jedi about Dooku's planned attack on Coruscant. She said maybe she warned them because she hated Dooku more than she hated Kenobi, or maybe Kenobi was right about her all along. She slipped into unconsciousness and was presumed dead, and after the battle was over, she was loaded on a medical frigate headed for Coruscant, where Obi-Wan wanted to give her a proper burial. She woke up in the frigate, having faked her death using Sith meditation to slow her functions. She used the Force to influence the pilots to take her far away from the war, the Jedi, and the Sith, wanting to completely leave her past behind. That is the last thing we know about Ventress's whereabouts in Legends. Comment below and tell me where you think she may have ended up after this story. Now let's move on to the canon version of her story. In canon, Asajj Ventress was born on Dathomir rather than on Ratatak, and lived with a coven of Night Sister witches. To ensure the safety of the coven, the child Asajj was given to the criminal Halstead, who took her to Ratatak to train her to be a weapon. He did, however, treat Asajj with kindness as he raised her. During a pirate uprising on the planet when Ventress was 6 years old, Halstead was killed. She was taken in by the stranded Jedi Kai Narek, who sensed that she was strong with the Force. He trained her to be his Padawan, and together they protected the citizens of Ratatak. After many years as master and apprentice, Narek was killed by Weequay pirates. In her anger at having been orphaned twice, Ventress gave in to the dark side of the Force and killed many of the pirates and warlords on the planet. After this, she made herself ruler over the citizens. Her power in the dark side brought the attention of Count Dooku, who trained her to be a Sith assassin. She felt that the Jedi were responsible for her master's death since they left him on Ratatak, and she wanted to avenge Narek by bringing about the Jedi's destruction. During the Clone Wars, she served Count Dooku in many ways as a spy, an assassin, and a commander. She killed many Jedi during the war, but she also experienced many failures against Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Darth Sidious eventually began to sense Dooku's desire to overthrow him and make Ventress his Sith apprentice. To prevent this, he ordered Dooku to have her killed to test his loyalty. Dooku commanded his droids to destroy Ventress's command ship, and he presumed her to be dead. Her unconscious body was found by scavengers, who she killed when she regained consciousness. She took their ship and returned to her homeworld of Dathomir, where she was taken in by her Night Sister coven. To help Ventress get revenge against Dooku, the leader of the coven, Mother Talzin, provided Dooku with a new apprentice in the form of the Night Brother Savage Opress, who was secretly loyal to Ventress. Opress failed to kill Dooku, however. Dooku later tried to exact revenge against Ventress and the Night Sisters by sending General Grievous to kill the witches. Grievous managed to kill nearly all of them, though Ventress managed to escape. After losing her family for a third time, Ventress became a bounty hunter, moving around the galaxy and never staying in one place for long. Towards the end of the war, when the Jedi Council sent Quinlan Vos to take out Count Dooku, he sought the help of Asajj Ventress. She agreed to help him, wanting revenge for what Dooku did to her Night Sister family. She believed that they needed to rely on the dark side to defeat him though, so she manipulated Vos, convincing him that Dooku had killed Vos's Jedi Master, when in fact she had been the one to kill him. Ventress showed Vos the destruction that Dooku had brought to her people, and she gained his sympathy. The two fell in love and they set out to kill Dooku. They failed in their assassination attempt, and Vos was captured by Dooku. Dooku showed Vos the truth that Ventress had been the one to kill his master, and in his anger, Vos became Dooku's new dark disciple. Eventually, Vos was brought back to the Jedi by Ventress, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker, and he was again sent to kill Dooku. Ventress went with him, and the battle that occurred brought them to the planet Christophsis. Vos defeated and nearly killed Dooku, but was distracted when Ventress was injured by Republic artillery. Dooku attempted to use Force Lightning on Vos, but Ventress stepped in the way and sacrificed herself to save him. With her dying breath, she told Vos it was never too late to return to the light. Other than her place of birth being different between the two timelines, Asajj Ventress's tragic early life is mostly the same, as is her time as a Separatist commander and Dark Jedi. The real differences in her story come from what happened to her after this. In Legends, she was betrayed by Dooku towards the end of the war, while in canon, it was about midway through, giving her time to become her own person. Both versions of her story offer redemption, though in Legends she disappears after this, while in canon she sacrifices her life for someone she loves. Which version of Ventress's story and redemption do you prefer? There's some things about the beginning of her story that I enjoyed more in Legends, but I prefer the canon version of her ultimate fate. It gave her more room to grow and explored her character as her own individual much more, leading up to her sacrifice at the end. I want to hear your opinion though, and if you have an idea for a future Legends vs. Canon comparison video, let me know that in the comments as well. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. For another comparison like this, check out this video here.
Ventress, you're not looking well.
She never does.